Are you looking for something affordable, unique, and fun to give away in your merch orders or at your shows? Look no further. Hit me up today to order 1-inch buttons for your band, label, or other project. High quality metal pinback buttons for your friends and fans' battle jackets, messenger bags, and guitar straps. $38 for 100 buttons shipped inside the US. Message me on IG at Everything Remade to get started. Hello, and welcome to Everything Remade, a podcast that I hope is about growth as much as it is about music. I'm Edie Quinn, and we have a great show lined up for you today. Before we get started, though, I'd like to remind you about our Patreon page at patreon.com/humanmachine, where you can go to sign up and support the show, get music sneak peeks, read zines, and so much more. That's patreon.com/humanmachine. And now, I'd like to play something for you. You're hearing Rodeo Boots by Artstar, featuring my pal Mia Mendez on vocals. The song comes from their newest album, Big Mouth Singers, which you can find on Bandcamp now.
I guess for me, it was more like a person. And so I always loved music, from an early age, and it was a big part of my life in so many ways. I don't know if it was like a lack of confidence, perfectionism, just I never thought it was something I could do, myself. I didn't think I was good enough. I thought you had to be like a musical prodigy, genius, trained from the day you were born, to ever make music, until I met Liz, who is one of the guitarists in our band, in my early 20s, and she just, like, cracked that whole world open for me and was like, "Oh, you wanna make music? Here's an old synth that I never use anymore, just take this." Or, "Here's a practice amp you can borrow. You wanna play bass? Let's go get you one. You can use my Guitar Center discount." Um, I she just, like, made it so real for me, and I think and, like, that I didn't have to be perfect, that you didn't have to know what you were doing, and I feel like that ethos has just, like, been a part of my life ever since, and, like, if you want something, just do it. You don't have to be perfect, and in fact, there's so much value in play and just, like, having fun and trying something and not being great at it, like, making something that sounds kind of stupid and laughing about it and moving on and making something that you really like. Um, and so I guess it just took someone, like, opening my eyes in that way that it is something you can do. Um, not that you just have to be, like, an observer of. Um, so I think she was really big, for me with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I I relate to a lot of what you're saying there. Like, number one, like, I recently have started just like, I don't know, I just go through this thing where for a while, like, I'm just playing to like make songs or record or whatever. And I've been doing like a lot of just like I just pick up a guitar and just I just like don't stop playing for like a half hour. I'm not playing any songs that I know or that will, maybe they'll become songs like subconsciously, like I'll remember bits of it and it'll turn into songs later. I don't know, but I don't like hit record and intend to make them songs. Like I'm just like going, right? And like
Yeah,
it's so it's so rewarding in a way that like we don't we don't understand, like in like now we don't understand that kind of thing the same way that I think that we used to, because like we don't let ourselves just do it. It's why why would I just do that? Like there's no point,
yeah,
there's no like validation for it or whatever, like it's
yeah,
it's just like it feels good, so you do it. And I'm like 2 out of the last 3 nights I've been doing that, and I'm just like, why do I not do this all the time? Why do I pick up a guitar and get frustrated? Like I'm not playing anything
yes,
cool or anything. I mean, it sounds cool to me and I just keep going, but like yeah, it's wild. And the other thing I related to was, you're like, if you play something that sounds dumb and like you're like and you just move on. Like sometimes, like honestly, like what thrills me the most is something that sounds dumb, but I turned it into something that sounds cool to me.
yes,
Like that is
yes.
so that is so good. Like there's a last song on one of my albums like where like I won't say what it was cuz like if you're like if you want to just like guess, like, and that maybe that'd be fun for somebody. But like I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this riff sounds so stupid." Like I love it, And I was like, "How are you going to make this sound like hard as hell?" And I mean like 50-50, maybe it still sounds stupid, but I'm like, that's so fucking cool. It's like it's like I'm like, maybe I should do that somewhere else, not the close of the record. I'm like, no, it has to be the close. But
Yeah. I know, I think there's so much to be said about just playing, like, I think when you're, playing music, you're playing, like, it takes you kind of back to being a kid, like, having fun. I think as we get older, we kinda lose a lot of that, like, just doing something because it feels good and is fun, and you're, like, exploring and being creative and, not like you're not afraid of fucking up, or you're not afraid of being perceived in a certain way, like, just you're playing, and I think that we miss out on that a lot, and so that's I try to remember that when I'm feeling stumped or frustrated,
yeah, it's
even
like
now.
very
Um,
lucid
yeah,
if you can get there, And I've
yeah.
I've heard people describe like getting. I've heard people say they get in that state when they're writing something like a book or something too. And I don't think that my brain works that way with like in regard to like language. Like I don't think when I'm making words I can get there, but when I'm just playing guitar, like I can get there. And
Yeah.
if that's I don't know if that's like me trying too hard, or I don't know what happens where you like break that seal or whatever, and
Yeah,
you get in that
yeah.
space. But yeah, it's
No, it feels good to be there.
yeah, yeah. And like, yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about that kind of thing a lot. And I've been reading like a lot of like Linda Berry books and stuff like that, and it's like everything that she says about like drawing and stuff, and why do you think, like, why do people stop drawing? Everybody draws when they're little. Like, why do you stop drawing?
Yeah,
Because you think it's bad, but it's like bad to what? Like, to what is this bad? Like,
yeah,
there's not, and a lot of it is like, okay, because you're going for like realism, and that's drawing, right? And then like
yes.
in music, it's like because you're going for like some kind of technical proficiency. They're both kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be that way either way. Like, I
exactly, yeah.
I think you could I think you could make a record that's like technically sucks. Like
Yeah.
from a playing perspective,
Yes,
but it would still be
yeah,
awesome if it's like if you just if you're really in it to like makes the best thing you can make, I think it could still be really
exactly,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
know. I think a lot of people could benefit from just, like, trying something that they suck at, like, uh, make something with, I don't know, like, you're a guitarist, make something with a trumpet, or I just, like, or, like, a non-instrument, make it into an instrument, or, um, just do something totally off the wall and out of your norm and have fun with it, and it can kind of take you out of whatever stuck place you've been sitting in, um, just to play around.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's there's like a lot of ways that I write songs, and like for sure if like um if I don't know what goes like in the middle of these couple of parts or whatever, then I'll just lay down a drum track for like the whole song. And the middle, like once there's drums there, it's like, oh, this makes sense now. This is supposed to go like this. And it's kind of like along that, like, you're just like, you're just staring at a wall or something, when you're
Yeah.
always in the same lane. If you just get outside of that for a little bit, you can. I mean, I don't know, and I think like, yeah, I don't know, just like, I'm trying to like think of it. There's a lot of like, there's a lot of times I think that people, myself included, like they'll start a new thing, and it's like super easy because there's no expectations of it, and like
Yeah.
they don't like have they haven't built it up to this other thing necessarily either. And then like when it comes to follow that up, it's like, oh no. When it's yeah, I don't know how to like. And I mean, I'm not thinking of this just because like this happened, but it's like the thing about Refused that came out today. Like they're starting a whole new band, which is just them, but they're not calling it Refused because they're like, people expect something out of Refused and we can't give it to them, so we're just gonna call ourselves something else. And it's like, I respect that, like on on like on principle, I guess. They're like, well, people have this expectation, but at the same time, I'm like, well, it is your band though. Like if you wanted to do an AFI and just make a record that sounds like Cold Cave now, like you should do that. And like, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, which is apparently what's happening. But like, I mean, I'm here for it, but I don't know about the haircut and the mustache. Like, I don't need that. But some people think it's hot. I don't like, but like I don't need that. But that is not the like that is not the person that flirted with me at a bar in Tampa. Not a bar. It was like shitty DIY club. Um, the I don't even want to say how long ago that was, but we were both teenagers. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, I getting way off topic there. But were you already listening to like punk music and stuff at that point, or like?
Um, yeah, yes. I actually have a really fun and cool uncle, married into the mom side of my family, and he just introduced me to so many awesome bands, from like Sonic Youth and Pavement to the Jesus Lizard, and he just like got me into cool music. He saw what I was listening to and was like, no, no, no. Um, no, 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 check out these bands. So I'd say got into a lot of music that way, probably around high school age. And before that was like rocking Fuse music videos, in middle school before going to school in the mornings. But yeah, I was already into, punk and weirder music, but Liz really, I don't know if I could credit her enough. I like for opening my mind and dragging me out to shows, and has just been a huge part of my life and falling in love with music in a different way and getting to be a part of it. Um, so
Yeah, because that had to be like another barrier that went down, right? When you were like going to like smaller shows or whatever, as opposed to like
yeah,
if you ever went to
yes.
like a big concert before, then it definitely upholds that idea of like these people are something else.
Yes. Yeah, very different. And I mean, like, I have seen some of the most, like, mind-blowing performances in, like, the tiniest holes, um, and, like, things that just really stood out to me, and that's, like, Liz probably was like, "Let's go drive up to Columbia, from Charleston to go see this band play," or there's like always a pretty cool DIY scene going on in Charleston that will like bubble up, get snuffed out, bubble up, get snuffed out, as they do in a big touristy city like this. But she just like drug me around to all of those, and I fell in love with music. And yeah,
Yeah.
it was a hurdle. I felt like, um, I don't know, it was also new to me. It took a minute to feel like I fit in, and then I realized like it's really easy to fit in those groups.
Yeah, it's not, none of us fit
So
in, so we're all, yeah, we're all
exactly,
fitting in, you know?
exactly, yeah.
When you were going to those shows, is there a band that sticks out like that you like there's always like the best part about this sometimes is like even with YouTube and everything else that's at our fingertips now, a lot of times we can remember some show where there was like a band that just like blew you away and then you just will never hear about them again. Do you have a band like that?
Um, I guess I don't hear about them very much, but I mean from time to time. So I remember seeing this band Cepheus for the first time. And this was Nate Haynes, who was our drummer, um, or McKinley, I'm sorry, our drummer. He, this was his like high school band, with some of his friends that they formed in high school, played it. They were babies, and it was so good, like post hardcore, post rock, like big giant feelings, and from these little kids that are otherwise just so sweet and goofy. um I feel like that just meeting them and meeting like this big group of friends, from going to see them play and that like time period, was pretty eye-opening for me. And um yeah, I mean, I hear about the band now from time to time just from, um 'cause
Because you're in a
friends,
band
but,
with one of them. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So it comes up for sure. Yeah,
Yes, but,
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
was a really fun era of music locally.
There's this band that I saw um, when I was like much younger. I can't like. I feel like we. I saw them at a place that my band played a couple times, and I can't remember now if we played this show that I saw this band, or if we had been up there for a different show. And it was this band called Dogs on Ice, and like they they just, I mean, they sound like Leatherface or Jawbreaker, you know, they sound like in that kind of thing, but like not everybody was like really doing that at that time, you know? It was like,
Yeah,
and they were you know, they were older, they weren't like young kids. And so like I was like almost like they've been sounding that, you know, if this band's been around this long, then they sound like Jawbreaker as long as Jawbreaker has, like, kind of thing, right? And I bought
yeah.
their CD, and I freaking loved the CD, and I had it forever. I don't know what happened to it, but like I can't find this. Like I go on like online and stuff, and I like can't find this band's stuff, and it's like,
Oh,
yeah, it's so wild. Like they were so good, and I was just like, I mean, it's it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, like there was a lot of bands that were like playing pop punk or whatever, but
mhm.
that was different, right? Like Jawbreaker and stuff. It's like all I knew at that time was just like a few chords, but then bands like Jawbreaker and stuff was like you can play kind of the same thing, but just play like weirder chords and it sounds way cooler. And that was like, to me that was like boom, you know, like my brain just opened up and like, yeah, that is
Yeah,
what, you know. But
yeah,
yeah, it's, I don't know, like I I love those, like, you know, like I don't love that I can't find the songs now, but I love those like
yeah,
moments, you know, where it's just like you come into something completely unexpected and you're just like holy shit. And it's kind of for that same reason that a lot of times, like if we go on tour or whatever, like I will specifically not listen to like all the bands beforehand because I'm just like hoping, like I'm just like I want to just go in, not know what I'm like gonna get, and just get blown away,
yeah,
you know?
yes. What a good feeling.
Yeah, we don't like we don't open ourselves up for that a lot, you know, because we're like we got like if we're going on tour and we're kind of, you know, we're like, I want to see who we're playing with, like make sure we're not playing with like people we wouldn't click with or anything, you know. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's harder to come by that stuff. You said that, like, you know, Liz is like, let's get you a bass amp. Here, take this synth. Like, so how did you start, like, trying to be involved in the creative process of making music and being in bands? Was it synth or was it bass or?
Oh, I guess more than anything, it was, um, trying to get a couple little projects off the ground, um, doing vocals for those, with Liz and others, and so it would be like, "Oh, I wanna do let's start a power violence band,"
Okay.
or, "Let's start, like, a post-punk band," and Liz would be like, "I know Mia really wants to do vocals, let's see if Mia wants to," and we'd, like, get together, practice a little bit, and, it just never got off the ground. Funny story, I think, with the power violence, band. We were practicing on a pretty regular basis at a storage unit, which we still do. We've recently stopped practicing at a storage unit, but up until the last year or so, that was usually the spot. And um, after practice, I was like completely sober, just having so much fun skipping through the halls of the storage unit, and I rolled my ankle and I actually sprained it. It like popped, and I felt the pop and I felt the heat of like shock. Oh, I actually injured myself, pain feeling. But I was like, oh, how dumb. I like tried to play it off. I was like, I'm fine, and was just like hobbling. But I don't know if it was that moment or just what, but the band never came to fruition, so I'll always,
You think you jinxed it?
I think I jinxed it, yeah,
Uh, I
but,
want to hear you do power violence now. I want to hear that.
oh my god. No. Maybe I could if I find an old recording, I'll send it to you, it's
Y-
kinda funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I bet that was awesome. That'd be fun.
yeah,
Um,
it was fun, yeah.
then it was just like we have to do something. We gotta. She's really like we haven't even been out at a show yet, and she's hurting herself. Like we've got to really do something. Uh,
Yeah,
it's for
yes.
your own good, you know.
Yeah. No, I think that I'm just a big goober, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you get around to playing instruments in anything or like?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so mostly, like, on my own. I've done a few things just playing around. I love playing with samples. Again, I don't have a ton of technical skill, but I've taught myself, like, to play guitar or bass or just like whatever. I play around till I like what I hear. I've recorded a few things just on my own, and I've done some things with the sampler with ArtStar. But um, yeah, I mean a little bit. I again just playing.
Yeah. I thought
Yeah,
so, but like I didn't I wasn't looking at the credits necessarily. Like I was just like going through and I just saw vocals, so I was like I thought there was like
yeah,
I thought I saw pictures at least, you know, of you like operating a board or something, and I was like maybe I'm
yeah.
mistaken. Yeah.
No, yeah, I have a Digitact that I love. It started to get a little laggy. I think I just need to refresh it. But yeah, I like being able to bring that into practice and hoping to do more of that with any new stuff we write.
Yeah. I I have like a few things that my wife wanted and I got them for her and then it was like she's I don't know, at some point she just kind of like lost all interest in doing music stuff, which
Mhm.
stinks, but you know, she's got plenty of other things that she does to keep her
Yeah,
busy. Um so I have this like synth and I am always like, "Oh, I need to like learn how to use this like and I need to like be playing around with this." And I am like really intimidated by this thing for some reason. Like I have pretty much entirely by myself, like picked up guitars, basses, and drums, and done all that stuff. Pretty much entirely by myself, learned how to record myself and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. And when it comes to this thing, I'm just like, it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm a
Like,
vampire
what do
in
I
it.
do with
Yeah,
you?
I'm like, it's so intimidating to me. I don't know why. I'm like, just I love to just like make noise. So why don't I
Yeah.
just like, it's like I was saying earlier, like, oh no, I'm making the wrong noises, like it's silly. It's silly. Um
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know. I have used it like a couple times, and it was kind of like, um I need to try to just like use it without expectations. I was trying to like, I had like an idea, like, and I couldn't get it to do my idea, where I should have went into it more open-minded and see like, what can I do with this, not like what am I imagining, like when I have no experience
Yeah.
with this.
Yes.
But I don't know, that's kind of like, that's kind of what we're saying though, like that's what happens, like when you're like, I don't know, when you're drawing something and you're picturing it in your head like a photograph, and it doesn't come out like a photograph, and you're like, well, that's not right. Or like when you're
Yeah.
hearing this like really grand thing in your head, as far as like, you know some vocal pattern or something, and you
Yeah.
it's like not even in your like range or whatever, and you're like, well, that doesn't
Yeah.
sound right. Like, yeah, I mean, just like, I don't know, just have fun with it. But yeah, so like, you you said like there's like the power violence thing, then there was like a post punk thing. Were you in any bands that like did recordings or played shows like before Art Star, or was this kind of, the one?
This was the one. Yeah, I
Okay.
wasn't in anything, that put anything out or played any shows until Artstar. Joe always, says that he's jealous that I just, like, missed, having the super embarrassing, like, first band, experience. But I kind of am like, "Oh, I wish I could have had that, like, the band that there's, like, this cringy YouTube video of that you hope to God nobody ever finds because it's on your friend's YouTube channel that you can't control, or, like, you know, I, like I sometimes wish I could have had that experience with music too, so, but nope, Artstar was the first.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there are two bands that like I can think of that I'm like, I hope no one ever hears those songs. I know like lots of people have heard those songs because it was like, that's like my high school bands. So like, but like, yeah, it is wild, like just the amount of people, like my friend Steph, like they play in the band Lord Snow, and that's their first band, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding
Oh,
me? Like, you know,
yeah,
like this is this band will seriously go down in the like history of screamo as like one of the best
yeah,
bands to ever do it, and
yes.
like that was your first band, and like, you know, yeah, it's wild. Like, I mean, it can be like that. Not It was not like that for me, but like, in my defense, like, you know, a lot of this stuff, like specifically like, screamo and like what we would call like emo and stuff, was not really quite there when I started playing music. We just had like Bad
Yeah.
Religion and stuff. So, uh, so I got there eventually, but yeah, it's. I mean, it was, and I don't know. I kind of like say that, and at the same time, a lot of people will say on here, they'll be like, a big band for me was Nirvana, and I'm like, yeah, me
Yeah.
too. How did you get here so much faster than I did? But like, You know, it's, I don't know. There's 30 years of context, that's like different. So I guess that's that. Um, when Art Star first started happening and you're pretty much like, yes, I'm going to be the vocalist. Um, what, like, what were like your initial thoughts as far as like, did you already have an idea how you would approach things? Like, had you, you had like a little practice being behind a mic or whatever, but like, had you done any kind of like singing like in school choir or anything like that kind of mentally prepared you for like actually getting out there and like writing your own songs and doing recordings and stuff?
Mm, no,
Yeah.
not really. No, yeah, I've always enjoyed writing though. I like have had a journal like ever since I can remember. Loved writing awful poetry and keeping that to myself. But just growing up and into, young adulthood up until that point, I um loved writing. I think maybe that was a big connection. Like I had um that kind of experience to bring and but as far as, performing vocals, I had none. And when we did start the band, when we were like writing songs, I was like so serious about making sure every little thing was going to sound good before I even shared it with like nervous. I would I would like go home, write for hours, like, get all that together, and then I would sit in my car, play the shitty like practice demo in my car speakers, and then sing on my phone over it to get it to where I liked it. And then like, play around with it that way before even coming back to practice and then playing. I was so like, there's that perfectionism part of me, even though Liz tried to knock it out of me. It's still there always. Wanting, to be really happy with what I'm doing. But yeah, no former like vocal experience.
Yeah, that's really interesting though. Like you were you were taking the practice recordings and making your own demos so you can go back and listen and be like, well, I didn't like the way that I hung
Yes.
this phrase, and maybe I'll pare this back a little and emphasize that instead. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Um you it sounds like you are like you put an emphasis on the fact that you like were doing a lot of writing in the first place. So when it comes to
Mhm.
writing your lyrics, like, do you come from a place of like everything is written down on paper before you even start doing it, or is it like, oh, the melody shoots out and you try to blend those two things, or like how does that
Oh,
process
yeah.
work for you?
It's I think a little mix of both. I think because I write often enough, I usually have something I can pull from. And so like or in other times we'll just be at practice and I hear something and I know exactly I'm like, "Oh, I know exactly what I wanna say right here and how." I like, very rarely, but that happens sometimes, or I'll make it up, or I know, like, "Oh, I wanna do, like, a certain thing in this part. I just don't have the words for it yet, so I go back and but yeah, I do spend a lot of time writing and just being able to, even if it's like something totally different that I wrote, one night, I might go back to it and pull like a single phrase and just build out a whole new song based on that. But it's a little mix of both, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I have like zero ability to remove things from a context from which it came. And like, so, so it's like, I think to myself, like, because I'm writing stuff like all the time as well, I think to myself, like, this is good. I'll do basically what you're describing later. And then when it comes down to it, I'm like, nope, just gonna write a whole new thing. And I don't help myself at all in that. It's like there are a lot of instances where, past Edie does help future Edie out a lot, but like that's not one of
Yeah.
them. Um, I don't. Yeah, I can't explain it either. It's just I don't know. So when you are like when you're sitting there and it's brand new ideas that are coming your way, like in the rehearsal space or whatever, are you are you just letting things come to you, or are you like you hear it and you get struck with like the big picture and you go from there? Like you're like, oh, this song is going to be about this thing and I'm going to see how I go about that. Or is it just like you just get the pieces here and there and then you're like, oh, this is what it is?
Yeah, I think more often than not, it's the pieces part. It's like putting together Frankenstein's monster, like stitching these little things, like phrases or feelings into, like, I don't know, who knows? And then from then I'm like, oh, it's like this is what I am trying to say or what I'm feeling. Or even there have been times where like a year later, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's what that was about. I didn't even realize that's like, no wonder I was saying those things. I had all that shit going on." But I've it's kind of fun that way. It's like a little mystery, like, what is it that I'm trying
Yeah,
to say? What's it gonna be? What is this, like, monster turning
yeah.
into?
No, I have like I have so many songs like that where it's like are you fucking kidding me? Like I was articulating these things that I did not understand like whatsoever.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
are you fucking kidding me? Like I don't know. It's wild. Like but
Yeah.
I mean that's why this is like I don't know. That's why this is so important to people that end up like being here and doing this, because like
Yes.
that is a way for them to, work through like whatever they need to work through, not even in always like a severely dramatic fashion, just like in just literally you're just working through something,
Yeah.
but usually in a very dramatic fashion for me anyway,
Yes.
in a crying on the
Me
floor
too.
kind of fashion. Uh,
Me
yeah,
too.
I mean, what are you gonna do? It's like
What a thing.
you're surrounded by your friends and people that are like, and like you're getting like it just this music is in the air all around you that is just like I don't know. I people if you listen to more than 2 episodes of this show, you're probably sick of me hearing me say how wild still and will always think it is that like music is a real thing that exists like because it's not like a real thing. You can't like
Yeah.
grab it, it's not
Yeah.
it's just like we make this stuff and it's just exists and it's in the air and it's in our brains even when we're not like uh, um experiencing it, like it's always
Yeah.
there and it's like I I don't know, like yeah, how could you not be overwhelmed by like all
Yeah.
of this,
Yes.
like
I know. I feel that so often. And I maybe it's like if like you it sounds like you would resonate, but just being a big feelings person and
yeah.
like um I don't know, like it's in. incredible, honestly, how a song will just, or, even the community, but just the big feelings that come out of music when you never knew, like, you don't have the words for a feeling, but the song somehow can, like, so perfectly capture that for you, or, like, I don't know, it's really special.
Yeah.
I think we're all such emotional creatures, whether you think you are or not.
Hmm.
Um, and, it's, a really special way to, um, connect with that side of yourself.
I know that mask you wear so well. I'm so scared. Can't you tell from looking in, from looking out? Come with me, cast in lightness, reveal yourself, conceal your lightness, sculpted shadows, shapeshifter, your chin tilts skyward. I see your smile. Your head dips forward. Rip curl frown. Come with me. Eluding spaces inside of form. Flux persona. Your nerves are war. Shapeshifter, release yourself in your own person, behind a mask. Words spill truth. Come with me.
Do you ever feel like this
I know that
pressure to like when you're like, okay, you hear this song and like you love all your songs, but you're like, I think this is the greatest song that we've ever written. And so you're like, these words have to match this on every level. These melodies have to match this on every level. And it's just like you're like, how can that even be done? Like where do you go from there? Cuz like I think with me, I got to a point where I'm like, this isn't, I don't know. Like, I don't want this to sound like I am giving myself like a pass on a certain part of like a performance or whatever, but like I had to come to a point where I'm like, if 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 we or if I created this piece of music, if I did these drums and I did this guitar and I did this bass and I think this is all so perfect as it is, like how could I improve upon that? Like I can only just do what I am going to do, and I have to be like, even if it's just me, I have to be like, I'm a collaborator in this. And
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's this idea like that I struggle with sometimes where it's like, how can you how can anybody keep expecting themselves to improve upon X or Y or whatever, like, and sometimes like you're blown away by this song and you feel this pressure, and like, is anything that you're gonna do like gonna match up to that? So like, do you ever struggle with that, or like where do you come at that? If you do, like, how do you come at that? Like, not problem, it's a good problem to have, of course, but
Yeah. I think just taking either taking time away from it, because I'm I definitely will put a lot of pressure on myself. Um, if I feel that happening, sometimes I just will focus on, like, the what I wanna say instead of how I want to say it or sing it or, perform it, first.
Mm-hmm.
I because that comes easier to me.
Mm-hmm.
I will write it out, and then I often, like, create these big, giant word maps, like, in elementary school, kind of, or, like, it looks like pure chaos how I've written everything, and then it's stitching it together how and where I wanna put it, and if I'm just really stumped, like, I'm not classically trained at all, and I don't, like, know what I'm doing if I am trying to sound, I don't know, really pretty and it just sounds not great. I'm like, "You know what? I need to just do something weird then." Like, I need to say it in a weird way or, like, try some, like, layering vocals here or, just speaking in a real monotone. Like, I just am like, "Ugh, I just need to do it so different than what I've been trying," and sometimes that's the trick. I'm like, "Oh, all I had to do was stop trying to sing and just say something instead."
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a big relief too when I'm, like, feel stuck on trying to get something done a certain way and it's just not working. I'm like, well, I should just do something totally different. And it feels so good to let go of whatever wasn't working.
Yeah. Yeah. I I I'm always like when I will have like a bunch of stuff, like I'll do it in the notepad on my phone, but then like when it comes to where I'm actually like tracking something, I'm like, oh, I didn't like write enough stuff, right? So like I'll have like actual pieces of paper, and like by the time everything is all said and done, I think what happened is pretty cool. But like I'll look down at the pieces of paper and there'll be like 57 things that I crossed out and replaced and like all this stuff. And I'm like, if anybody were to ever to see this, like I'd be mortified, you know? Like why how did some of this almost go on the record, you know what I mean? But
Yes. Yeah.
like I'm not saying that that's the case for everyone, but like if that is the case for you, you feel me. It's like yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it's and like that's another one of those things too. Like the listener would have no idea that there was like this
Yeah.
other thing, and so they'd just be like, "This is cool," you know, which is
Yeah.
like I
They'd
don't
have
know.
no clue.
Yeah, yeah,
The
like
torment that went in on that one phrase or
right for sure.
yeah.
Do you ever have an instance where you're where you're like you said, like sometimes I just gotta keep writing the actual words and not worry about how they come out. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about melody versus like the lyrics. And do you ever have an instance where your melody that you have in your mind, you're like, it's got to go like this, and they just don't, they're not compatible, and you're just like, it's got to be one or the other. Like, is there an, is there like times where you fight for that so hard and then like later you probably are just like I don't even remember what that was. Yeah, it's I don't know. That's happened to me so much. And then I don't know. I will admit there are a couple instances where like I've done like a sunny day real estate on it where it's just like I will just do the vocal in the way that I wanted to do it, even though there's no way that that could be those words, because like I wouldn't give up. Like I just like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that wouldn't be easy for a someone like who's in a band like like art star, like I don't know that you could get away with that necessarily, but I'm like screaming a lot, so you know. But yeah, I don't know. Like, how hard do you think that you try to merge those two ideas before you get to that point where you're like, no, this shit just isn't working. I'm doing something else.
I, yeah, I'm not sure. If I really want to make something work, I will freaking make it work.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will find a way. If I get like determined about something, there are like times where it's clear it's just not gonna fit, or maybe I need to say it in a different way or chop it up, or like um, like move things around. To try and make it fit where I want it to. But yeah, I don't know. I It's a good mix. I'd say most of the time, if I really, really want it there, I'll find a way to make it fit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. It's like, do you have that thing where, like, sometimes like the first way that I'll hear something is like the only way it can be? Like, do you have that a little bit or?
Ooh, yeah, I've
Yeah,
had that a few times.
yeah.
And
I've
it's
I've
hard
broken
to
it.
let go of it
Yeah,
too.
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. There's a song where like I couldn't get past this one thing, and so I literally was like trying to finish writing this song for like years, and eventually I was like, "You know what? I literally do not care what the next thing that comes out of this guitar is. It's going there, and like and I'm going to finish this song." And I did it, and like I'm still so aware of that. Like it didn't just become the way it was. Like I'm still very aware of that. But like people have been like, this is one of my favorite songs. And I'm like, that's
Oh,
that's really weird because it's like
yeah,
more like two different songs that I just mushed together. But
yeah,
yeah, it's fun. I don't know. It's like all in a day of, creating weird stuff. But
yeah.
so like first time you go into record a record, what was that like for you?
Oh, it was so much fun. It was so cool. Like, it was just fun to be with, you know, all like our group, our friends. We recorded with Chris Hilbert at Legitimate Biz. He had a studio in Greensboro, North Carolina, and we've recorded with him all three times.
Oh,
And he is the best. He is so much fun. I felt like we all just, I mean, Joe had recorded with him before, and Nate's recorded with him before with other projects, and so kind of already knew him, but like me and Liz didn't. And we all just hit it off and had so much fun. I feel like he was down to try whatever weird things we wanted to do, and even throws in his own ideas. And it was just an overall like fun experience.
yeah.
um yeah, and I was really nervous about recording vocals um on Akin to Sin, and um I like but I at that point, I said, I just practiced so often, and I would listen back and change things, and so I felt pretty prepared, and I just kind of blew through it, and we were like, let's roll with it. And yeah, it felt good to just get it done the first time, and it was like this big weight lifted off my shoulders. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's it's wild that like well, it's not wild because if it worked, then of course you're going to keep going back there. But like so you've had essentially the same recording experience 3 times. But like
Yeah.
how like did you approach any of those differently based on like things you learned in the previous time, or since like things you learned like outside of the band or anything like that? Was there any like sort of like, oh, the first time, you know, I was I was drinking Coca Colas, and I shouldn't do that next. Like, do you know? I don't know. That's a bad example, but like, what did you take between like your experiences that like sort of like helped you and like like might have like brought you to where like you are now?
Yeah. Um, I don't know. It's kind of like, we've talked about this already. But when you don't know as much about what you're doing, it's a little more playful and maybe less pressure in a lot of ways. And um, I think like the more that I do this, the more pressure I feel even. And so
Yeah,
like the more and the more that I know what's going on, and when I'm like, oh, I really like shouldn't fill so much space, or maybe I like tried to say too much here, or I need to let this breathe, or which is always a good lesson anyways. But I like I became like way more critical of myself over time the more that I am like in this setting, writing and performing and playing, and I have like higher expectations for myself. And so I think um I guess the lesson is to try to just go back to the part that you like about it, is like that you're playing and having fun and letting loose. And I will say with this group of people and with Chris, it's so easy to do that. Like it's so comfortable and relaxed and fun. And so that helps a lot.
yeah. Do you like so like I've experienced this kind of like um I've experienced this kind of like where like I'll do something, and this is like not talking about like oh my band's from high school or anything like that, but once I became like sort of aware of my identity as like a performer or whatever, um, I might do something. I might say, hey, this is this project is called this, and this is the first album or whatever. And then I'll have that like sort of like, oh, I don't know if I can live up to that, like kind of thing, right? But
Yeah.
like in the reverse, like sometimes people can be like, look back at, their other stuff where they were learning and be like, oh, I would do this differently now. Like, where do you land
Yeah.
as far as stuff like that? Like,
Hmm. Oh, I don't know. I think I I don't know. I definitely think when I look back, I wish I would pull back a little. I actually have jaw problems. I have like a bad TMJ disorder, and my jaw hurts often. And something that I learned quickly is that a lot of our older songs, I was filling all the space with all the words and saying so much all the time.
mm-hmm,
And I, you know, on one hand, it's good to pull back. I think it's letting the rest of the song have room to breathe. And it also like lets me have room to breathe.
mm-hmm,
And like after I started having these jaw problems, I noticed that certain songs are a lot harder to perform than others.
yeah, like
I was like,
literally,
oh,
yeah,
literally. So that was something that I've learned and tried to take into this record, and even more so moving forward, is just letting things breathe.
yeah.
um and
when you
myself.
said that before, I that's kind of where I was like, thinking with that question is like, you know, I I have to always fight myself to be like, just let the band play for a minute,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm just like, well, something should go there, right? Like, um, this, like, and it's just like, it's so ridiculous because it's like you, like, as like a musician, I'm constantly like, we should be pushing against like like all of the walls of what we think a song is supposed to be like at all times, and like
Yeah.
I don't I just don't do that. I'm like, no, if there's vocals here, there has to be vocals there. Like I
Yeah.
like why can't you have a song that has 8 parts and there's vocals in the first part and there's vocals in the fourth part and there's literally no other vocals in the song? Like you could do that if you wanted to. You do anything you
Yeah.
want if you wanted to. And
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
know, our brains can't like make rhyme or reason of that, so we just like do these other things. And it's like just jam for a minute, just have fun. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
no, it's yeah, I'm always interested like when it's especially now with like the internet and everything, there's so much where it's like you'll hear a band like will release like their demo versions and stuff of different songs, and you'll see like halfway decent like live clips of bands and the singer sings something differently, and
Yeah.
and then like it's weird, it's funny sometimes where like sometimes how personally my opinion will land on those things, and it's like obviously that singer is singing it this way because that's the way he or she or they want to sing it now.
Mm.
Like they got bored of singing it the other way, or they maybe they never even wanted to sing it that way. That was like a producer that was like, you should do it this way, and that's the
Yeah.
version I have. So like I don't know, like you can't be constructive all the time where you're like, well, is this way better or worse? Or am I just not used to that? And so it's got me feeling like this way because my expectations of it. But then,
Yeah.
I feel like there are some, I won't name names, but there are some where like I've heard demo versions of something and the vocals will be a certain way. And I'm like, well, I'm glad they didn't go with that take, like, just because it just feels like generally like good that it was going in the wrong direction. But I don't know,
Yeah.
like I guess that's why you have practice, that's why you had like
Yes.
your all your voice recordings and stuff. Do you still have any
Hmm.
of those that you like?
Oh, I
Do you ever
bet I
just like
do.
pop one of those on and be like, whoa, this is weird?
Oh God. I should. I think I'm gonna go look for some
Yeah,
after this.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be like the kind of thing like you could do like you could do like some really wild remixes or something with like some of
Oh
these,
my God.
you know. Um
Yes.
yeah, I like I have a bunch of like 4-track cassettes of like songs that like never happened and stuff. And some of them like it's like, well, I don't like those people anymore, so I would never do anything. But some of them like it's just like me and my friend or whatever, and I'm like, I should just like do something weird with these. I should just like mix this music, like tell my friend, hey, I'm gonna like do something with that old 4-track recording. But I don't know, I love all that stuff. I love like I love the story about how like Michael Jackson used to write his songs by like basically like doing beatbox versions of all the instruments and stuff. Like, and I love like hearing about the different ways that people made making music work for them. And I don't know, that's a cool
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, the new album, um, Big Mouth Singers, just came out. Uh, what are you all like? You know, I know that the album's been recorded for a while, so you must just be like overwhelmingly thrilled to finally have it out and stuff. That's the way albums work
Yes.
now, you know.
Yeah.
Are there like release shows coming up, or have they already happened, or like what are the...
Yeah. So we do have a release show on October 4th that we haven't properly announced yet, but will be soon. It's gonna be really cool. So the first Art Star show that we ever played, we did like a Art Star Bazaar where we played, but we also invited friends and artists to table and show their work, like visual art of all kinds. And so we wanted to kind of harken back to that a little bit and do something similar. And we're really excited about that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Um,
Yeah.
is this like, this is like, you said tabling, but is there like, are there like um people doing like more or less like performance things and like in between, or is there like visual
Um,
aspects of that like that occur like while y'all play? Like how far do y'all take it? Is it just like, you know, everybody's here with their like, you know, stuff out, or is it...
yeah. Yeah, it's more that we've invited people to bring their art to display however they'd like. And um yeah, it's gonna be at a newer art studio in Charleston. And so just I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Like, it sounds like it's more of like a you know, a gallery and a performance
Yeah,
as opposed to
yeah.
like just a wild circus, you know, of things happening all at the same
Yes.
time, which is, you know,
Yeah.
that's less fair to
Also very
everyone,
fun.
but also that would be fun. Yeah. Like it's like
Yes.
who am I supposed to be paying attention to right now? I'm not sure. But it could be a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
So is that the only show that y'all have lined up to support her, or are you all planning like to do any touring? I'm not sure if that's like even a thing, you know, with the band situation.
Yeah. We don't have any tours lined up. We are playing Fest this year, which will be really fun. And but other than that, I we hope to tour, maybe something small, nothing too crazy, next year if we can all get our schedules to line up. But yeah, nothing too crazy announced yet.
And that was my conversation with Mia Mendez. Thank you so much, Mia, for taking the time to chat with me. I really had a blast. Thanks to all of y'all for listening wherever you are as well. If you sign up at the Patreon at patreon.com/humanmachine, I'm going to be opening the floor for suggestions on guests for future shows and all kinds of other discussions. So that's patreon.com/humanmachine. I could really appreciate your support. Until next time, take care and do good things.